Man, a 5-minute timer is very short, isn't it? Whew. Okay. We'll deal with it. Hello everybody. This is the first time streaming to the official 07craft channel. Which actually, I don't have any 07craft overlay here, which is probably my mistake. That's fine. That's unfortunate, Root. You'd be on one of the 2 YouTube channels. Restream doesn't differentiate. But that's okay. So, what we are doing is lowering the music a bit because it's a bit overpowering. We will keep it playing though, because it's really nice music. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. I'm in the process of opening our... Which one's our main client these days? Is it Nrecep? No, it's Oaks. Terrible client. Yep, the Elvard client. Don't even know if that's the right one. Yes, Dylan. Wasn't sure when you were going to start, so I thought I'd start without you. How you doing today? That's not my password. You know what I forgot to do? We're not using game capture. We're using... main display! Aha. Server's running. Excellent. Oh, that's right. I was working on this guy. Fair enough, Dylan. Good idea. This is also the wrong scene. We actually want this one. Oh, we don't need, we're not going to be using the map today. So that's fine. I'm prepared, I swear. Not that one. Aha, TV display. That's what I called it. Okay. So, actually, let's take a look at where I was when I did this. I can't see chat in game. What did I do? Do I need a... Oh, I'm dumb. Shh. Wasn't me. This texture pack has some weird darkness to it. Also, my frame rate is poop. Let's give it some freedom, you know? Oh, that's the center of my display. This also explains some things. Right. So I actually recently learned that Minecraft actually has a biome blend option now. And so what you'll notice is this looks much better. The original looks something more like this, which, you know, is useful for building. And like, when I learned about it, I was like, okay, so if I do this... My log? Uh-oh. No, I'm seeing my frame rate drop. I don't know, whichever one we packaged. No, no buffering. I will open Task Manager. I'm seeing my frame rate in OBS drop to 23. That shouldn't be happening. All I'm doing is running Minecraft. My GPU's at 20%! Alright, so... I mean, my CPU usage is at 80%. I'll keep an eye on it. But... I think I was watching something when I worked on this. I don't think I worked on this on stream. Either way... Take a look at what we've got. So what is likely happening, Dylan, is every time I drag a window, the frame rate in OBS drops significantly. I haven't figured out the cause, and it just happened again. You know what? It's when I have the Runescape client focused. That's problematic. So... I have built most of this. Nope, that's not it. That's it. That's good. Luckily, we won't be using the RuneScape client today. Yeah, rendering lag. Don't know what to do about that. Either way... Here's what we've got at the moment. I'm going to close this. We've done that. Now, we were working... Oh yeah, these are the blocks without biome blend. I'm going to close Task Manager because what I've learned is that having Task Manager open ruins frames. I also don't know why that happened. Yes, it's probably the fact that I'm using display capture. Any suggestions? So this is what it looks like without biome blending. And this actually results in some really cool things. Like, for example, this path here is very obvious. And this is where it turns into... where is it? Yeah. So here you can see two different greys. So these are blocks that I hand-placed, and these are grass blocks via the biome. And you'll notice that we've basically perfectly lined them up. And I have a grid that I drew over here to help me plan out the rest of it, because actually this path here is thicker than it's supposed to be. Whereas this, you'll notice that the biome lines up perfectly without outlines. And these kinds of things don't matter in the grand scheme of things, because, like, for example, this is a mine over here. And if I go in here, and I go into video settings, and I turn on that biome blend, now it looks like this. And it looks like Runescape. That's good. So, forgetting all of that, if anyone stops by and wants to know how the game looks and how we're doing things, I'll show people around. But for most of us, today's plan is Photoshop. So, Minecraft's just unloading that texture pack. That's fine. We don't need this at the moment. Or this. What we're actually going to do Yes, there is a plan. I just need to remember... We definitely need the outlining overlay, and we're also going to need the map... Okay, we're going to need NetBeans. So this is what needs to happen. We've done the initial parts of the Asgardian Ice Dungeon, and that is all the outlines are done. What we don't have is an accurate height map. Now, I did generate a height map before, and that'll be in one of these files somewhere. There's an essence one. I might have a plan, but I'm not organized, you know? Ice cave outline, that's the one I need. So you'll notice, this is an outline which does not contain any heights. That's part 1. Part 2... Don't know where it is. And because of that, we actually need to generate a new height map for ourselves. Yeah, I'm watching this frame rate go to 71 milliseconds to render the frame. Work is work, Root. Right, map viewer. That's still loading up. But our Asgardian Ice Dungeon is accessible through this... Whoa. I can see the cursor lagging. Game mode's off. I turn those things off. No, it'll be in the Xbox section. Troll Hut? I don't know the map, I don't know the map that well. Oh, really? Hmm. I'm just waiting for NetBeans to start up here. Why does it remember Root and not me? Oh, I have it in that mode, do I? Eesh. Okay, so, actually, GG No Potato, this is what I was talking about when I meant I was planning on programmatically adding the trees. What you'll see here are green blobs. And if we go down to Tutorial Island... This is the spawn building. These frames are bad. This is where the tutorial building is, and these are the trees that show up there. There's also a giant oak tree up here. Hi Undersama, how you doing? Warp. Where are we warping to? Brainor? No. The sea place. What's it called? Port Sarum. Right, then we're just going south. Not much, just really struggling with frame rendering lag, actually. I'll show you a little trick here. Yep, we are missing this building. We're missing a pretty simple building, guys. Definitely running 16x. Pretty much, GG, what it's gonna do is, these are the actual locations of the trees in RuneScape. The problem is they're placed here, but their models extend out this way, so I'm doing a weird trick to kind of tell it where they need to be. But I need to correctly generate what size each of the... I need to be able to actually tell it, hey, this particular type of oak tree is this big. Draw up a thing this big. And basically what'll happen is all these green markers across the map will tell me where I need to place the actual trees. And the way we did it last time is we used a plugin called Schematica. No, a client-side mod called Schematica, which adds the ability to import a schematic, see it visually in-game without actually loading it in, and then you just right-click where the blocks need to go, and it'll do that for you. So yes, we are missing this little hut. I can tell you that for sure. You are correct. And you know why that is. What do you notice about this section? You can only see one corner of the building. We're gonna have to actually... Where's my... Yeah, see, both of these versions, which contain different font sizes, which gives us the magic trick of being able to go, oh yeah, here are some pixels that we missed. We ran into the issue where the building doesn't exist because it's so small. But what we can do is... What do we have? We have the grid, don't we? Show me the tile grid. So this was a nice little client edit that Root managed to do for us. We have a bit of Java experience, you know? And Osama, it's going slowly. Not a lot of progress made recently, but that's what we're here to fix today. So this building is... These walls are on the outside. These walls are on the outside. These walls are on the outside, but the front wall is on the inside. Okay. Wrong one. There we go. So I'm going to do this with game capture. See if it helps, but I don't think it will. Either way, we're going to quickly add in this building, because it's missing. And I don't like that. Now, the great part about this, by seeing the grid, nope, not Al-Kharid. Warp, Port, Baron. Yep, this isn't textured. Now what's interesting is we have that blue marker there. I'm curious if that's for the fireplace? I'm actually not sure what that... Or did you put that there? No, actually you wouldn't have build permission. Where did that come from? That's okay. What we do know is our entry to the Asgardian Ice Dungeon is here somewhere. I wonder who put it there. Because it's not the fireplace. I'll have to build it off another building. Okay. Fine. It looks like I can't escape the frame drops, so we'll just continue using display capture. And I'm gonna skip this song. And enable our tile grid. So... this wall is outside, meaning our tile grid goes like this. Whoops. Pretty much. That's what I'm gonna do. What we're gonna do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27. Okay. Oh. No worries, I'll probably still be around, weirdly dropping frames all over the place. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. This one right here. You are what I'm standing on. Meaning, our wall goes right here. That's not what... There we go. For you... Oh, not auto jump. Go away. So you there. You there. I need red wool. Yes, it is 1 tile equals 2 Minecraft blocks. No, actually, hang on, that's wrong. This is here. Because you're already internal. 1, 2... No, hang on. That's external. I was right the first time. I need to trust my gut. This song actually reminds me a bit of the early Harry Potter movies, of this song. This middle bit would have a window. 1, 2... And then the back wall is external, so this goes here. You know, you should fix that. I don't know where this comes from. Don't know. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. And you are external. So... Unless the glass is supposed to signify the cooking pots. I need to turn off the auto jump because whoever decided that was a good idea should be fired. Right. That's where that building goes. Just like that. And it has windows here. And here. And here. And there. And one on the opposite side too. Okay. There we go. Missing building planned out. If you find any more, let me know. Okay. So our map viewer right now is not particularly helpful. Because it's not really a map. We need map viewport. Right, map. Apparently there was a division by 0 in my code. So that's interesting. Right, the trees. And the fences. Fence. Ha! Oh, I'm glad I commented this. What I'm doing over here is not that. But the tree section is commented out. Guys. This is the tree section. Why is it still showing green? Why is this commented out here? What? No. Where are you going? Here are trees. Trees below. Close this now. Oh, actually, I should be running it in debug. Because the cool thing about running this in debug is it has this button here. I think. One of them. Okay, that looks more like a height map. So, we need our text file, which contains coordinates. What did I call that file? Coords? Teleports and coords. This is the only problem with this spreadsheet. It doesn't have everything. That doesn't look like an 8, but I'll take it. 9582. Here we go. We are here. So, here's what we know. This place is huge. And we need... I see what you did there, Dylan. Now, the interesting thing about the way RuneScape does its underground is it's just offset by a few thousand coordinates on the Y value. Meaning all we have to do is go up. And as you can see, we are now in the undergrounds. And what we're looking for is at 3048. $9582. Meaning we're looking around here. Sorry, 3048. 3048 is here. 9582. 3048. Okay, so I teleported to this position where my cursor is right now. But we know where we are, we know where we need to be, and we know what we're doing. So, we also know that this Asgardian Ice Dungeon is huge, and we can confirm that by looking at this picture here. This picture here, I would like to open in a... I hate this. Right. We're looking for something shaped like this, which is stored in this layout. Right? So we know what this looks like. And we know where we are in here. Now, the cool thing about this is because I'm running in here, and because I'm running in debug mode, this fancy button NetBeans has, apply code changes. We're going to perform a magic trick here. Now we know what we're looking for. From this spot here to this spot here. Real-time code changes. So that means we know where this is. We actually have code to console log our coordinates. So this is literally this. And the other cool thing about this is you'll notice down here is another underground section. This underground section down here, this is Tutorial Islands underground. So it is literally as simple as we need a zoom size of 2. Code hot swapping is a lot of fun. My restream chat just reconnected. This one seems to be fine, but the netbook lost connection for a sec. It's all we need. Now, I feel like I did something similar for this ages ago. As you can see, each tile is 2 blocks. Because this here is the underground in Rainer Village. Whoops, that's not where I meant to paste that. The weirdest part about this section of the map is you'll notice this section in the height map goes up very high very quickly. That's exactly what happens in here. If I go this way, so we are now at the neck. This part here. If we go along the neck, sharply inclines, and this is very high up compared to what's down there. Then if we go down here, so now we're in this section down here, and as we walk down here, it sharply declines, and now we're down here by the ladder. So, here's what I'm thinking. We do have this caves PSD, which is what I generated ages ago, but I didn't have code hot swapping enabled. Meaning, I have all these undergrounds stored, but I don't have their height maps in the same file. So what say you guys? We generate new stuff here. I see what you did there, Dylan. What we actually need is our caves file. This is not the middle. We actually need to go up this way. Fair enough. Okay, we are about here. That's too far. Yep, so we are about here now. Center-ish. Now the only problem with this tool is that it is very heavy on all the resources. So now that we've zoomed out this far, it's It's really not happy with me. But actually, we need to move further up to the top left, because what's happened here is... So it actually goes from the top left coordinate. None of these is the height map, is it? Oh no, that's the height map. Oh, I had one of these already. Oops. Alright. Screw it then. I've already got it. Let's rename this one to height map then. Now, my computer seems to struggle with anything, whether it's graphics, whether it's CPU. Cool. So let's hop back into Minecraft. Which way was it, guys? I feel like it was this way. Was it this way? No. It must have been some way. Yes, it was this way. Whew! So I don't know how it happened, but we have a line of one biome over here. Like, that's purely by accident. So this is what we worked on last time. This is the cave we're looking at the moment. And we need to drop a height map on this. So the question becomes... I'm thinking... That's 128 pixels. That's to the bottom of this section here. $127. Guys, we're off by a single block. Not even... That's problematic. Not even a tile, but a block. That's really not good. We haven't run into that issue yet, Dylan. But I'm running into a different issue right now. Fly speed 0.3. $169 between here. My measurements are off somewhere. And off by one error. Size? 170. Where'd I go wrong? Yep, the 2-hour episode for sure. So from that outer to here. 170. Okay, no, we're good. From here to here is 170. That's fine. Then... Please, 128. Okay, 128, we're fine. I must have misunderstood the coordinates. So, we have all of these. The only thing we don't have is this section filled in. So... I say we don't need it. Are you just purple wool? Yeah, that's what I thought, Dylan. I couldn't remember for sure. Okay, so if Minecraft has focus, my hotkeys don't work. I don't know if that's because Minecraft's frozen. That's what I meant to do. Magenta wool. Yes. This is actually... This cursor is a Overwatch cursor. Downloaded a cursor pack. It's not great. It's very pixelated, and actually this one's blurry. But it seems the latest Insider builds managed to persist the... I like the default cursor very much. I just play enough Overwatch that I was like, why not? Guess what I don't have installed? I'm gonna need World Painter. See you, Root. Have fun at work. What's his sign? We no longer need that because we got all the walls. The cyan blocks are these little guys. And that usually means that when we fill in the corner, it'll be something like this. Sometimes, sometimes not. Really depends on how the in-game is set up. Either way, as long as we have the walls, that doesn't matter. But what we know for sure is height map wise, we only need from here to here to here. As long as this edge, and this edge, and this edge all come in properly, we will be fine. Just gotta make sure I'm on the right outline layer. Our entire landscape in 07 Craft was crafted using a combination of something like this, a height map, and this lovely tool right here called World Painter. Has this very nice option right here. Why isn't OneDrive listed here? Oh, no, I need to export as a PNG. There we go. I need it pixel perfect. Wait, are you in... Yeah, you're the wrong one. I need OneDrive. Now here's the issue we're going to run into. And I knew this was going to happen. I don't remember what vertical scale I used for this. I legit don't remember. You'll also notice this says lowest value is 0 and the highest value is 0. Which is also wrong. Do I have it wrong? No. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing with the Rune Essence mine. And that's also seeing 0, 0. Wrong. I remember having to tweak something here for it to pick it up properly. There we go. Lowest value 2, highest 33. That's a little more accurate. These are not even sorted alphabetically. Generated 8 million blocks. But I wanted only sand. Question becomes, if I guess there's a minimum world size? Oh well. Step 2. We did the same thing for the overworld that we're doing now for the Asgardian Ice Dungeon. And that is... It didn't export it? Oh, I put it in files, not documents. That's why. Okay. So this is where the question comes in. Whoops. What did I do? Oh. Whether this is too tall. Hey. Because we know this section here is this section here. Now, does this feel accurate? Because there isn't really a definition for vertical height. Now, because we have the borders, we can actually import that schematic in here. So let's do that. And that'll give us a better indication of what this is supposed to look like. Hello, Def. How you doing? This is what we're currently working on. The Asgardian Ice Dungeon. Trying to get this slope accurate. This is imported from the height map. So if I pull this up, then this section here is this section here. And there is definitely supposed to be a slope here. And it's a bit obnoxious over here. So the question becomes, do we want to kind of flatten it out a bit? In the meantime, I'm going into the World Edit Schematics folder. I'm good. It's a productive day so far. Right. Let's import this. I apologize for the dodgy frame rate that seems to be happening. I've dropped 16,300 frames, which is about 12%. But that is just my... probably my CPU actually not passing stuff to VRAM properly. Right, snippets. Asgardian Ice Dungeon. I need a schematic, and it is in here. What did you... Why is it named Schem instead of schematic? What did I do differently? Ah, it saved it as a... Weird. What do you mean an MC Edit schematic doesn't support saving? What do you mean? Failed to write a saved clipboard. This format does not support saving. Okay, so Schem to schematic converter? Is that a thing? I've never had to do this before. what did it actually save as? Sponge schematic. Well, then it has moved to the sponge schematic format. Do I have to update MC Edit? Is that what has to happen? I am so lost. I am very confused. Just hoping it opens this. Okay, this doesn't look like MC Edit. What have they done? I am confused and mildly alarmed. Okay, they haven't changed the controls, thank goodness. Please tell me this supports schem files? Sponge schematics? So I clicked... Oh, I hit the wrong button. I crashed MC Edit by trying to import a schematic. Fine, we'll export this as a schematic. Oh, I probably have to select what I want to export, right? I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Also, that's not sand. That's... I can work with that. I can just do a Control A. Sweet. Okay. We don't need that much. Oh, back for 7 minutes, Root. Do you remember what vertical scale we used in World Painter to generate our, landscapes? I feel like we modified it off the defaults, but I have no idea what it could have been. Because I worry this is going to be too steep. Whoa! Cortana on my phone heard me. That's new. Here we go. And it gives me a .schematic file. Yes! Why do these people... Yeah, something like that. So, by the way, World Edit no longer saves .schematic files, which were MC Edit schematics. Instead, it saves sponge schematics .schem, which MC Edit does not understand. So, I can only do this in one direction. Meaning this is going to be a pain. Right then, guys. Moment of truth. Don't even know if the scale will be correct. Uh-oh. Seriously? Who doesn't install HTOP on a server? Wrong password. Oh. Yep, I froze the server. That's okay. You might want to run apt-get f installed to correct these. Apt-utils depends on a specific apt version, but a newer one is installed. The server still thinks I'm online. At least Glances is installed. I can use that instead of HTOP, but geez. So basically we're going to wait until this CPU usage goes down. Probably doesn't help that I only gave it 1.6 gig of RAM. Probably could have cropped the schematic as well, technically, but now we wait, basically. Octagon's like, do more stuff like that, I think. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. It'll eventually catch up. Oh! I caught up. Good timing. Now, the concern is going to be the fact that... Yeah, it really doesn't like that. The concern here is going to be the fact that the game froze when I pasted that sand in. Meaning, moving the sand around is not going to be easy. But the good news is we have sand. So... do we... I pasted it and the game froze. I pasted the outline. Snad? What is snad? Yeah. Maybe if I used paste minus A. Instead of paste. It would have been handy on both fronts. Pasted it too high. Alright, have fun. Oh, I probably need to move it up one block. 2. Maybe? Hold on. Oh, whoops, hang on. Oh no! Hello, Prototype Gamer 9. How you doing? Hope your Friday or Saturday is going well. Okay, that's all the edges. Good. Good. What brings you here? I can safely move this down about 3 more blocks. Whoop. This song reminds me of, The Sims. You weren't the furthest block, were you? You are. Getting this stuff to line up, I swear. If I'm right, all I need to do is move it up 1. Yeah. Up 1 would be good. And how many this way? I move it 3 that way. And up 1. Let's try it. That touches that edge. That touches that edge. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it's only when Minecraft is frozen that that doesn't work. That touches that edge. And... come on. That touches that edge. Okay. So. This means... it's a very dramatic drop. Now, normally I do this the other way round, where I paste the sand on top of the outline. Which does save me some trouble. Because what I'm going to have to do... grab this sandstone... and draw... here. I usually do this the other way around, but this one's such a heavy piece. Oh, I do need one more. That I might as well do it the other way around and simply draw out the missing bits. Mm-hmm. Good, good. No worries, Dylan. I do the same all the time. Welcome back. What? No, it's not. But this is actually in-game. Probably because of display capture, which is fine. I wish I could do more about it, but I just don't know what else I can try. Okay. And one more. Like, that's actually on my end. Oh no, wait, there it goes. It just dropped to 18 in OBS. This is consistent with every time I've used display capture or played Minecraft on stream. Okay. Maybe. Right then, so this is how the outline fits. So now what we do... Mm-hmm. We'll see how it looks once the gravel's all dropped. Did you now? Bloused? Bloused. Welcome to the stream. Hope your day's going well. Let me, save a warp here. So, Dylan, here's how that, slope looks. It's only currently unclimbable because it's... Like, I can do something like this on certain parts. Or, over here, this one's all 2. So I can make it all 1 here. There's some weird heights over there. But, like, that should be fine. It's mostly this one that's going to be the challenge. And we can always raise this lower bit a couple blocks just to kind of even it out a bit. Bloused, what version of RuneScape was your Varrock based on? Here's ours. The trickiest part was because the GE was added in late 2007, it's very hard to get versions of RuneScape that are just when the GE was added. Every version of 2006 and 2007 doesn't contain it. Because it was added in, like, November. Oh, I didn't do the roof on this one. Yeah. With RuneScape music to go with it. I'm just in the process of... Well... Eventually it'll be a Minecraft RuneScape server. I'm actually in talks with someone who knows some people who might be able to write us some plugins. Which would be very promising. Because I've planned out most of the skills. I just need someone to develop it that has more time than I do. Yeah, round exchanges over here. Any particular cities? Yeah, most 2007 stuff doesn't have the GE. So this is based on RuneScape in November 2007. So old school RuneScape-ish. For the most part, like 90% of it, 95% of it. Of course you can, Dylan. I added you to the Trello, didn't I? Yes, post-2006, pre-2008. Yeah, so if you want to start adding ideas to that, on how we can implement certain skills, that'd be useful. So here's Falador. And also, go to map.07craft.com and you can actually explore this in 3D. At a time, it's been about usually up to 5 people at a time, but overall It's also taken us 4 years, but only because we've been working on it on or off. It hasn't been a consistent thing, and that's been my biggest mistake in doing all of this, that I didn't... With full-time work, it made it a lot harder to work on it consistently. We even did parts of Berthorpe and Tavali, even though that's not currently part of old school free-to-play. Aylin, welcome to the stream. Yes, old school RuneScape is still worth starting to play, especially if you're either interested in the nostalgia factor or you're interested in what cool games back then. My biggest mistake is a full-time job. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We pasted in the duel arena. We just need to make some maps. I think I worked on this last time, actually. Ooh, these didn't copy over properly. Could probably do a full map render. But I always love showing off Tutorial Island, because that's the thing that most people remember. You know, most clearly. That's Tutorial Island right there. And we actually made a modification to our texture pack, so that grass is coloured the way it's supposed to be. Oh. Don't know how I fell down there. Welcome the Builder Girl. Hope your day's going well. So all of the landscape colours we actually copied from the game. So if I were to go back to 2D here, you'll notice that the sand is in here, or there are black parts over here, and then if we open up Photoshop here, you've got the darker black parts here, you've got the sand that transitions from here. The only thing I have to fix is this browny colour here. Currently shows up as green in our texture pack, which is wrong. Where's Minecraft? Yeah. But what I needed was this. So these are darker the way they should be. What is this black bar? Where did that come from? Yep, that's what happens. Real life kicks in. And you never have time to do anything. So there's the wilderness. As far as I know, wilderness free-to-play goes up to this yellow line up here. So I'm going to have to actually build all the ruins here. I did start on the Chaos... What is it called? Chaos Temple over here. A couple buildings over here. Apologies for the frame rate. But yeah, map.07craft.com. It has all of our building as it is currently. And then I'm currently in the process of finishing the landscape for the Asgarnian Ice Dungeon. So basically what we've done is, here's the Asgarnian Ice Dungeon. This is a custom RuneScape client. And right now, what I've done is I've got the height map, which is this here. So this is the outline for the Asgarnian Ice Dungeon. Mostly default textures, some of it ours, but the end goal is our own textures because... PP World 474. With a custom texture pack, we can do things like this. Or things like this chair. Or these. Or this hat stand. Or this cabinet. Or these plants. Yeah, I really need to fix the lighting in this texture pack. It gets confused. Or this sink. Or this chest, which currently is missing its wooden texture over the top. But don't tell anyone. But yeah, we've got all sorts of... There's the sink. Oh yeah, and the cooking range. Let me jump over there for a sec. Cooking range, anyone? It's a bit tall, isn't it? It's on its little stand, so I might lower it. This is unmodded, by the way. Yes, it is. So, if we were to expand out here, this is where you start. This is where you learn wood cutting and fishing. Then you go along this path over to cooking. Then you follow this path along here. You go in there, you learn your underground stuff, which is smithing, mining, combat. Right now, we haven't done out of bounds very heavily, but the plan is barrier blocks. I should have a barrier block in here somewhere, no? Fine. So, Minecraft has barrier blocks, which are completely invisible to a player who's in adventure mode. And basically what we'll do is we'll outline the islands with these barrier blocks. And that'll stop people from being able to go where they're not supposed to. So you can see, for example, we don't let people jump over the fences, even if technically in Minecraft, say here, you'd technically be able to jump from here to this fence post. But that's going to be a lot of manual work, especially around island edges, because one of the first things we need to figure out is how best to do fishing, right? So if I were to go to a coast here... Well, actually, better yet, no. Forget coasts. I'll actually just show you... If you're learning fishing in the tutorial, you need to be able to right-click the water. But if we don't want people to jump in the water, which you can't do in RuneScape, you have to kind of go, okay, well... Technically, let's say we put it there, right? Remember, if you're in adventure mode, you can't see these. They're completely invisible. Game mode, Wizard CM Adventure. There is no black outline here. And I can't hit it. Even if I'm holding a barrier block, I can't see it, but I can't walk through it. So the downside is if I have a barrier block up here that the player can't see, and the player tries to interact with the water, I need to be able to basically go through that water, to through the barrier block, to go, okay, they right-clicked on water, even though they technically can't walk there. So that's one of the little challenges where you kind of go, we still don't want them to go there, but what can we do to kind of interrupt it, you know? And there are, like, plugins that go, oh, if you touch water, it teleports you back, right? You're not allowed to touch the water. But that doesn't feel very smooth, and it doesn't feel the way RuneScape does. Maybe. But the plan is not modded, just texture pack and data pack, which then allow you to, allow us as the, and a custom server, for sure, but the client should be vanilla, because the user simply downloads the resource pack and the data pack, which is done natively in the Minecraft client, and that's it. We don't want the challenges of, well, first you have to download this modded client, and then you have to log into that client, and all of that. It's too much effort, and to be honest, I love the idea of this being within the challenges of vanilla Minecraft, which is awesome, because you get stuff like the latest snapshot builds, where you get things like... Where is it? Like campfires, right? Let me zoom in here. So now you get campfires, and that will work really well for fire making, because in RuneScape fire making, you have to be able to right-click the fire, and guess what? There is no interact event for the vanilla normal fire. I fought that for a while. Eventually figured out, yep, nope, not possible. So we left it at that. Yeah, but I'm in contacts with people who might be able to help. So we'll see how that goes. So this is our Asgardian Ice Dungeon, fully outlined, full native height map pulled from RuneScape. with this crazy slope here, right? So this goes from really low to really high up here. Like, that is a crazy slope. Let me just stand over there again. Right here, this slope. Straight down. Yes, we'll be using Spigot plugins. We've got a couple. PL. You guys can't see that. Right here. We currently have a few plugins installed, but we haven't actually developed any that are specifically skill related. So that's the next step. Because this Asgardian Ice Dungeon is the final underground section that we need to build. Because if I pull up this map and go... Whoop, which one's underground? Your Cave 3D. Cool. So we've got undergrounds of basically everything, right? Actually, I don't know what that's supposed to be. What is that supposed to be? I guess I need more lighting in some of these. But like, here's the Draenor sewers. You can't really see it, but that's the Draenor sewers. This is one of the... what's it called? This is the underground of the Champions Guild. So we have all of the undergrounds inserted, including... That's an inside of a building, that's not underground. Including all 3 levels of the Stronghold of Security. The only thing left, free-to-play-wise, is this. Yes, server plugins, resource pack, which gives us textures and models, and data pack, possibly, which would give us drops, but we might just do that with plugins. If you go to... Let me see if I can find the link. This is from 3 years ago, but it still holds up today into how we would want our drop system to work. And that is, it'll work very, very, very much like RuneScape. The fireplace I just showed, the fireplace, that is literally a... I can show you. Yep, resource packs allow for custom models. A custom model can be 3x3x3 blocks visually, even though it only takes up 1 block in Minecraft. Yeah, the campfire was a snapshot thing. The fireplace was a model of ours. Yeah, they've allowed them since, I want to say 1.9? 1.8 or 1.9. So here's Cubic Studio, made by the same guy who makes the Sphax texture pack. But what you can do is you can go, okay, I have a object file, right? In the wilderness, there's this skeleton on the ground, right? This is a model directly from RuneScape. And what we can do is we can go, okay, well, let's... I don't remember how to do this. I think because it's a mesh, we have to convert to voxels. And we go, okay, yes, this block is going to be 32 by 32, right? Well, that's not very good. Let's undo that. So actually, when we convert it, we want to keep the inside empty, and let's do 64 by 64. Yes. So now we have that same skeleton from the RuneScape client, because we have the whole collection of models from it. And now we've turned it into a bunch of pixels. And then we can export that, and you'll notice in this view, this is 3 wide and 3 tall. And the actual model is taking up a fair bit. And what we could end up doing is we could go, actually, you know what? We only want this skeleton to take up 2 by 2. Measurement-wise, one RuneScape tile is 4 Minecraft blocks. So if I were to... Let me put on our overlay grid here. Actually, I don't know if it'll work here. Yes, it will. Cool. So, RuneScape works in the sense of tiles here, right? Each of these tiles, you can walk from one to the other. Each of those tiles, we've designated as being 2 Minecraft blocks by 2 Minecraft blocks. So if I were to go to spawn, for example... pick the world 474. That was a good example. Oh, I'm in the wrong game mode, that's why. So this would be 1 tile. And as long as we maintain that tile grid throughout the entire thing, the scale works really, really well. So, if I now go back... I don't like this. Let's skip it. So say we are down here, right? This section of this corner here is literally this corner here, right? This is a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 scaled area. And if we now go here and we're like, okay, we need these 2 lamps, right? Well, what we know is this is 1 tile. This is 2 tiles. 3, 4. So our lamp would have to go in the middle of here, somewhere. And the other lamp would have to go in the middle of here somewhere. Now, the benefit of Minecraft models being so large, I'm going to grab one of these. This is our bookcase. What you'll notice about our bookcase, let me just pop it out this way a little, is even though I'm placing 1 block, it takes up a lot more space. Meaning that while the physical block is in the middle, or in this case it would be either on this half or this half of the Minecraft blocks, so these 4 reds, this one here could be the lamp physical block. But the texture, but the model could be centered here, which is off the Minecraft grid, but it's within the RuneScape tile grid. The challenges come from, for example, the trees in Tutorial Island. There's an oak tree right next to the exit of the initial room. That tree is literally 3 tiles by 3 tiles by about 6 tiles. 3 tiles is 8 blocks. No. 6... 8... 2, 4, 6. 6 blocks. And so then you go, well, if a Minecraft model can be a maximum of 3 blocks wide, how many blocks would we need that contain portions of this model in slices of 3 by 3 by 3, and it becomes a mess. But luckily we're not worrying about that for now. Anyway, so say we have this little skeleton fella. He's actually a little too high up. Let's lower him onto the ground level. It's made in Java, yes, but the biggest reason why it doesn't help much is because the RuneScape private servers like this one, where we have been able to modify it to give us a tile grid kind of thing, is the biggest challenge being it was never open source. And so the code that you get from RuneScape, firstly, is deobfuscated. So the original code was encrypted, essentially. And so people had to turn it into something that they can read, and then name all the variables themselves. That's the first part. The second part is, while certain parts might be useful, we don't really care about the code for the client, which is this thing right here. We mostly care about the code for the server. Downside being, most of the RuneScape private servers don't contain any code for the skills. Because really, you can only look at the code of the client because you have a copy of it on your computer to be able to play. You don't have a copy of the server. So, there are people who have recreated the skills on RuneScape private servers, but they've had to do it themselves. Yes. And it's even more interesting as well, Counter Crisis, because when you think about how many times a game like RuneScape gets updated, say a couple times a month, or there was a version of RuneScape called, of this version of RuneScape, number 317 from 2006, and then we're basing this on 474, which is late 2007. So there were a solid 150 updates between sometime early 2006 and late 2007. Each of those, if you grab, say, a 317 client that someone's deobfuscated and a 474 client that someone's deobfuscated, they will use different variables themselves to name the functions and everything else. And so, even though the clients might be similar, and the code might be similar, nothing will match. And actually, what's been really interesting is we have this map viewer here. Let me quickly load this up. This is our height map reader, right? And we use it to be able to determine... It's how we generated our landscape, and it's how we line up everything. So you can actually see I've started drawing black lines of where fences should be, and my plan is to just pop all the fences onto the map without having to manually go and place every fence. But this uses a subset of the map rendering code that the client uses, this one right here. However, they were converted from gibberish to something readable by different people at different times for different reasons. So whereas some of the functions here are very concise, well written, because the person went, hey, actually, I need this function to be simple so that I can modify it, whereas this guy just needed it to be able to figure out where the coordinates are for each of the tiles. This one is a longer function with the same reason of being and the same goal, but is written completely differently. Even though the original code might have been identical. So in the end, it's not particularly useful to look at the source code of the client. And besides, I like the idea of making the skills, for example, ourselves. I'm gonna kill these purple towers that I made to get the lines. It is. And sometimes, like, the biggest issue with deobfuscated code is you don't get to see the beauty behind the original code. You only see the idea of what the code was supposed to do. I'm a web developer myself, so I did Java in second year university, so I can read it for sure. And I actually had to modify this to add my own tree generating stuff and fences. Yeah, those are fences. And if we go height map, I actually added a bunch of code in here to kind of go, I don't need you generating this stuff, I don't need these things, I just need to be able to know what is an outline and where stuff is. I'm not a designer at all. I can't design for shit, but if you give me a design for a web page, I can turn it into a very functional website, right? Now, the number of bugs in my code is a whole other story, but it functions. I could just use World Edit to delete these, but habits are hard to break. At my previous job, the website we were working on was Spring-based. The server itself was running Java. These days, the pipeline I'm working with, I'm just making myself comfortable, is a mix. So the front end right now that I'm working in is React with a bit of jQuery, even though they're not really supposed to go together. So that's what I do. I do the React portion, but our API gateway is Node.js, which I don't have a lot of experience in, but I can read most of it. And then that interacts with a bunch of APIs that are written in Python and Django. And those interact with a database in Postgres. I didn't catch it. And then as part of that... Got him. And then on top of that, there's another server written in Go that interacts with the database, or at least stores stuff in Postgres, and another database that we had that we don't really use as much in Influx. After spending a year and a half in React, I don't hate it, but I can appreciate what it's trying to do in certain ways. My biggest concern with it is that you're writing HTML that's not really HTML, that gets transpiled to react.createElement functions anyway. And it's not pleasant. And there's weird stuff of passing variables from components to components that just is not fun. But it does the job. I played a bit with Angular 1 before that. And like, all of my websites are WordPress. I don't develop those anymore, they just kind of sit there static, because I don't have anything that needs to change on them. Yeah, and like Webpack is frustrating too, because the other thing about... Oh geez, Dylan, what did you do? Yeah, currently we're talking web dev stuff. I'm trying to figure out how best to smooth out this landscape. What I'm most likely going to do is fill in these edges with sand. That'll be my first step. So let's do that while we're talking. Yeah, Create React App does help. I joined about 4 months after... after the project I am at started. And the thing is, all the jobs at the time... Oh no, Dylan. That's painful. So I now know React, and there's so much stuff like with Webpack and trying to use CSS and JavaScript in there that it's like, what happened to separating JavaScript from HTML and from CSS, because there's a thing called CSS and JS, which is disgusting, in my opinion. I'm not a designer. I wish I was. I'd love to at least have some of the skills that designers have. I really don't. I do not have any design skills. So, development is all me. The level at which this landscape changes is dramatic. That's not how sand is supposed to work. So right now I'm just filling in these areas because they're just going to turn into dirt when I'm done. I'm filling in this area. How are you done? From here. The biggest challenge is going to be this frickin' slope. Because the way I did, and I should be able to find them here. I think they're out here. Hang on. Fly speed 1. Apologies for the frame rate again. I think it was out this way. Yes. So, there are 3 levels to the Stronghold of Security. Here they are split up. 1, 2, and 3. 4? Okay, there are 4 levels to the Stronghold of Security. One of them has an entrance, the rest do not. Well, actually, technically they go from one to the other to the other. So these are the 4 levels side by side. And then eventually I had to merge them into 4 pieces that go together. Then I have to paste that into the to the main Minecraft world. And so to be able to do that safely, I need at least the gaps filled in. That's what I'm doing now. And my concern is that when you climb down into the Asgardian Ice Dungeon, you actually go down a ladder. That ladder, I think, spits you out down here. Meaning, ground level will be about here. No, the server's still 1.13.1. I've been building this. I'm filling in gaps now. Slowly making progress. Uh-oh. How did that... Oh, I'm dumb. I'll leave it. Oops. Oops is right. It'll be fine. But that's why I'm filling this in with sand. I'm gonna have to expand it out this way at least by 1. But yeah, pasting this in is gonna be interesting. Oh, Dylan, I've been in weird situations like that before. Now the concern is this height here. Man, this frame rate hurts. Hurts you just as much as it hurts me, don't worry. Yeah, that was what I was worried about. Alright, let's do it from this level then. Good, good. We can fill this in here then. Dylan, no! Yes, it is. It's an issue I've had with Minecraft for a while. It doesn't happen in Overwatch. Yep, GeForce 1080 Ti. And you can see the frame rate goes from... that's 23. 16. This is the... Where is it? This is Baroque 2 from Runescape, the Orchestral Collection. I highly recommend it, it's really good. Yeah, it should. And it's only using about 20% of my GPU. When Minecraft struggles, OBS struggles as well. And it's partly because I'm using display capture, partly because stuff doesn't like me. Okay, I need to do it from this level here. Looking good. Maybe from here. Hi, Tim. Yeah, Dylan, that's a possibility. RAM speed. For sure. So I'm guessing new NVENC would help. Because my RAM speed is 1300 megahertz. I've tried speeding it up. No luck. No, shouldn't be. I'm using all 4 slots. 2 different pairs of RAM is the main issue. 2 different speeds. Yeah. 92 for streaming and all the stuff I'm doing. Isn't too surprising. That was too high. I bet that went over somewhere. No, it didn't. Okay. So if I do it on this side, I'm actually safe for the next, like, 4 levels. Audition doesn't actually use that much. This works. Oh, we can fill this in too. Wait, offline? How long were you on? I didn't even notice. It has to be from this level. Yep. I don't remember how that middle bit works. Actually, it's solid, isn't it? Oh, you crashed! Probably your client loading in the texture pack and you pushed it too hard. It's the biggest concern with texture packs. So this thing's supposed to be solid, I believe. Okay. Let's make it solid. I can go one more. 43,000? That can't be right. Oh no, it was... Oh crap, this is gonna... No. I shouldn't be using sand for this. This is stupid. I've just screwed up this entire thing. Or not, we might be good. Because I did a depth of 7. Oh, that could have been so bad. Could have been really bad. I'll probably load this into a, another schematic and compare it anyway when I'm done. You are not a room that's accessible, so let's fill you in too. I can fill this area in one more block. Oh jeez. The frames! They hurt. This entire slope is going to be a pain in the butt. And then you have to wonder... Does this section even make sense to be multi-level? Because this here... Because technically this could all be flat. You know what? Let's make it flat. I unlocked new recipes, guys! I'm so good at this game! Alright, let's do it. No comment, Dylan. Even if you use cheat engine, it's a client. Won't affect your money on the server. So... Counter Crisis, welcome to the order. Thanks for the follow. Actually, you know what? Other than sand or gravel, what other blocks, what other blocks care about gravity? Is it just sand and gravel these days? Ah, red sand. Anvil, yeah, but actually... Our anvil is the, prayer altar. Do you like our prayer altar? It's actually tiny. Jeez, Xing. 55 to 60 hour weeks. No, never. Yep, so this will actually have to be 2 halves. It's not big enough. Ooh, hot wings. Are you gonna share? Or no worries. Enjoy your hot wings. Oh, we also need to plop where the ladder will be. Let's quickly do that. One, two, three, four. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. And it needs to be here. Oh, okay, let's not worry about the ladder for now. I'm actually thinking I might have to do something like this. This is where you have to put in a few liberties, you know? But there's a reason I'm doing this in red sand. I don't know about bones. We'll see. Oh, you've got build perms? Yeah. You're not supposed to have break perms. This entire slope sucks. Oi. Like, I don't care if they're gonna be bits that are... Welp. Hmm. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Yeah, that breaks in 1.14 though. Not worth it. I had that on my regular server. RG flag global build deny, and it breaks pistons. I wouldn't recommend it. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Oh no, Tim. Are all the ratings bad? If you use World Guard to deny building in the global region, then pistons no longer work, because they are technically environment events normally, but World Guard actually figures out which player is doing it, and that gets passed through to every child region. Yeah, I'll add those later. Okay. See, it's areas like this where I go, actually, I'll just break this, and that fixes that section. This one, I've got no idea what to do. Because, like, technically I could do that, but then I have to do this. And it's like, ah... But, like, this is gonna suck either way. Because of this layer right here. This layer right here breaks this entire flow. What about this side? What do we have? If I do this... Like, I'm not actually sure why this is so much higher. Yeah. All sorts of blocks that are on the ground are going to be tricky. Like these rocks here. Oh, okay. So this goes up and then back down. Right here. Each growth level is technically a different NTID, meaning it can also have a different model. That's what we did with, like, here's a diamond axe, right? You can actually have a different texture for each durability of the axe. I don't think this slope is important enough to ruin usability. So we're going to... making an executive decision to flatten this out a bit. Because either way, this would suck to traverse as a player. Something like that. It's a little more playable. What I might end up doing is this entire section will just be one horizontal thing rather than this weird rev caves. You're gonna have to be more specific. I'm not good at the terminology. In the Wildy. Accessible to members only. So no, not in the first version. There's bound to be a height map for that as well. Actually, you know what we can do? Wildy. Go somewhere up here. If not up here, then it might be up here. I'm not seeing a match. Otherwise I could show you what that height map would look like. Were they around back then? Yeah. That's the old school wiki. I didn't either. I'm not a fan of this. Maybe like that. But yeah, I might flatten this entire thing going up this way. This bit's fine. Like, there are areas like this where I'm like, I don't need this here. Oh, you know what's been bugging me? This. That's why it was bugging me. And weird holes like this one. Or weird bits like this. Like this section here, I'll probably trim off the top layer. And fill in the bottom layer. Because it's too much. We're going for accuracy, but not... The biggest issue comes with... Yeah. I can understand why, Dylan. It's bonkers. Yeah, let's do that. Do that. It was driving me nuts. I just couldn't figure out what it was. So what you'll notice is, at least in terms of the height map in the underground sections, it's more of a guide. Like, it helps significantly, but... I hate when documentation in-game is rubbish. Like, you make a plugin designed to be used in a game. Make the game understand your commands. So it's group, add perm, and then... Okay, so I did have it right. Group, add perm. Yeah, exactly, Dylan. And being able to easily navigate it is more important than accuracy. But I might finish up here soon. This frame rate's killing me. I might try messing around with speeding up the speed of my RAM. See if it helps, you know? And then I might make myself some tea. Ah. I need to just give that fly, actually, you know what? Yeah, I did the outline for the hut. I wanted to finish this. Fly. Okay, it's just our commands.fly. Sweet! It's not like you would know the difference, Dylan. Now, there's also the case of this being a tunnel between here and here. And... oh, crap. I just did a dumb. Oh, sure you have. I don't believe you. I did a dumb. There's a staircase right here. And this staircase allows you to go up to this section, which is this section here. So we've lost... we've lost all of this. You've got 3 whole notes. I completely forgot the Asgardian Ice Dungeon had a second level. Which is interesting because... It's not visible on this. Which is why I did the dumb. Meaning I'll have to redo that section later. I'm not going to concern myself with it now because, as far as I can tell, there's nothing interesting up here. And for the most part, it's flat, so I can really draw it out myself. But that then begs the question, if you can stand up here and look down there, where the hell is the ceiling? These are the weird design choices that you get in RuneScape. Because you can technically walk all along this here. Hi Curdle Stuff, how you doing? We're just doing some touch-ups to the Asgardian Ice Dungeon landscape. Hope your day's going well, though. So actually, that explains why it makes such a big jump after this point. Because... yeah, so... man, this slope is weird. I feel like this is running on a different height map. Or, you know what it is? These walls aren't part of the height map, and so this second floor isn't technically part of the height map. Yeah, you would. And it would make more sense, too, than the fishing one, because I don't have to prevent the barrier blocks from blocking interaction. It's gonna have to extend out pretty far this way. You didn't get stuck again, did you? Okay, good. I don't think we have a warp for Karanja. No. Tut Island, Lumbridge, Alcarad, Falador, Berthorpe, Varrock, Essence Mine, Draenor, Port Sarim, and Remington. Yep, so this chat is provided by Restream. It actually has Twitch and YouTube, but it also links with Facebook. So currently I'm connected to 6 services. Yeah. When we do like a open world exploration available for randoms, it'll just be on a separate server that doesn't have build permissions. And just has default fly and stuff like that. No plugins, one world. That kind of thing. And Mixer, yeah. And Facebook. No, not that I know of. Are they free to play as well? Did I miss one? Where's the search box on this thing? Yes, Periscope as well, that's right. Biology, language, religion. Fast system. Yeah. Anything members won't be in the first version for sure, and whether we actually end up doing all the members undergrounds is a long way away. No idea. Check what I've documented in Trello. But to be fair, I never got very far in RuneScape. So if there's any documentation missing on how it works in RuneScape, feel free to fill in the blanks. That works, but it's not particularly fun. What I might do, at least, is break that up. Yeah. And that way, it doesn't feel like it was copied over from a 2x2 grid. What? What happened? The game froze on me. Yep, I timed out. Uh-oh. I was just building. Existing connection was forcibly closed by the remote host. Lost connection, timed out. Well, it's one or the other. Can't be both. It's probably a good place to end it. Overall, we did a very good job, I'd say. I'm just gonna... do that. Don't know what that emote's supposed to be. Oh, it's a what emote. I see. See you, Codal Stuff. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I call this a success overall. Welcome back, Counter Crisis. I'm gonna fill in some final blanks and then I will end it there, I think. I need tea. Pretty much, Tim. That'll feel smoother. None. Counter Crisis. Hopefully, hopefully GG No Potato will be able to help me find some people who'd who would be willing and have the skills to start implementing at least the way we'll do it is we'll do the initial skills based on what's available on Tutorial Island, and we'll start at the lower levels, right? If a skill changes in the higher levels, based on, for example, what creatures you catch or interact with, whatever it might be, then we won't have to do that in our initial run. It'll just be, okay, here are the basics of each of the skills. So say the first 20, 30 levels of each of the free-to-play skills. Yeah, GG No Potato, that's going to be the interesting thing, because one of the things I really wanted to do was to have like a baseline core plugin or a core class that we could reference from every skill. The leveling, the... Oh, core temp isn't running. My temps are fine. Yeah, the mobs for each level are going to be really interesting. One thing that we could experiment with is different armor. Yeah, CPU is at 74 Matt. Yeah, absolutely Counter Crisis, and that's the challenge. But in my opinion, the only thing that the core thing would need to do is some sort of interaction at each level up, where we can go, okay, here's what a level is, here is what a skill is, and here is what we do at each level. And that could be something that is barely used, except for once a person hits level 99 in a skill, for example, right? Because that, at least in RuneScape, sends out a global message. I think so. GG No Potato. I know that's how items in your hand work. I am very much hoping that's how armor works. The problem is armor modeling, I don't think, is a thing. It might be in 113. I will have to double check that. But those are the kinds of things we'll start to research and properly kind of flesh out. $74? I've lost track. I probably say a lot of things. Oh yeah, temp-wise 74, yeah? About normal for me. For items, 100% you can. Let me show you... Let me show you a really, really cool magic trick. Majestic Reaper X, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the order. That is a little off-center. There is too much of a gap on this left bit. Yeah, should be aiming for 60. Not getting 60. Keep in mind, I am using, No, we won't. For items, we won't. Blocks is where it gets really challenging. But I'm trying to find where I put multi-MC. In terms of items, we will not run out of items. 100%. We could do every single... Oh, we had a spreadsheet somewhere. That contained every single item in RuneScape. Let me see if I still have it. Item ID mappings, yes. Oh, did Minecraft crash? Oh, that's 13.1, that's fine. I closed it, it didn't crash. Oh no, it did crash. So, at one stage, I was going through, and I don't know if this will correctly resize the images on Zoom. So that you guys can see this. Yeah, it does. Okay, so... I categorized all the items in old school RuneScape. There are 2,495 items. Or 2,050? And we trimmed off about 445 duplicates. That's what happened. Now, each tool and weapon at each level has a different level of durability. Which one of these is my actual server, and why is it... That's localhost, of course it can't connect. Why can't it resolve WMA? Internet dropped out there. But I tried connecting to my server. But... See you, Tim. Thanks for hanging out. I don't even know if this will work. But yeah, I basically went through and documented every single item and how many of them there are. And we could make one of every item plus one of every menu item. So if I were to load up interface ID mappings... which is where I started mapping each of the skills, each of the spells. The settings... Did I actually do the settings? No, I didn't do the settings. And prayer. And I was able to figure out exactly how many items we'd need for all these. Well, armor. And clan chats. Including JX Moderator and Channeling. And there you go, the control panel. Okay, these look relatively textured something. Okay. Well...